A young woman in pink strides toward the rustic cabin ahead. She kneels among remnants, rummaging through bags to unearth hidden components. Every scrap holds potential in this rustic archive. She pulls a heavy yellow cable from the debris, preparing to power her machinery. She threads the cable through the window linking to her outdoor workshop. Then, grabbing a purple bag, she steps out briskly. Her workspace expands as a new phase begins. She pours bearings and fasteners onto the floor, revealing the skeletal parts of her mechanism. Cold industrial artifacts contrast with the soft forest light. The inventory is complete. Precision begins with symmetry. She aligns 3 identical bearings on the dusty floor, forming the heart of her transmission system. Every millimeter counts. The blueprint in her mind takes shape. She holds each bearing against the steel frame, tracing circles through their hollow centers to mark drill points. One slip would ruin the machine's balance. Accuracy is her only metric. Coordinates set, she lifts the bearings to inspect the pencil marks on bare metal. These graphite rings form her mechanical foundation. Preparations are nearly complete. She carries a red arc welder to the workspace, placing it on the ground. The tool signals a shift to intense fabrication. She connects the yellow extension cord to the welder. This simple link completes the circuit, bringing the heavy machine to life. The system is ready. Calibration demands precision. She adjusts the dial to match the steel's thickness, a calculated response to the metal's properties. The stage is set. Safety first, she fits a white mask shielding her lungs from toxic fumes. Her gaze hardens with focus. The air is about to turn hostile. Metal fuses behind her dark visor. She guides the glowing electrode along the joint, bonding steel beneath white smoke. The heat alters its structure. The frame takes shape. Sparks flies. She welds the rod to the base. Molten steel locks it in perfect vertical alignment, giving the structure its backbone. She releases the torch, checks the rod's vertical line, then taps off the slag. She sets aside the torch with a gloved hand. She spins the long shaft to test for resistance. This first motion signals life in her creation. The transmission must flow. She slides a hardened steel bearing onto the vertical shaft. Her movements are slow, deliberate, and precise. The tight clearance demands a perfect fit. She places a block over the bearing's outer race with measured hammer blows. She seats it fully. The rhythmic strikes echo through the shed. Each tap drives the component home. She pins the frame with her foot and pushes the lever hard. The bearings spin in a silent, effortless glide, a flawless triumph of manual alignment. She flips the steel, welding the opposite brackets. Her torch moves with steady grace, sparks cascading like a bright fountain as she seals the final seam. She lifts her goggles, exhaling as she inspects the fresh welds. The heavy fabrication is done. Her vision is now solid iron. She fits a drill bit, aligns it with her marks, and prepares to pierce the steel plate. Precision is key. She swaps to a larger bit, widening the hole so the heavy mounting bolts slide through with ease. With rhythmic taps of a hammer and drift pin, she seats the bearing into the tube. The metal's resonance signals it is locked. Squatting on the floor, she holds the square tubing steady. Her eyes lock onto the seam as she positions the welding clamp. The final alignment is set. She adjusts the bracket, aligning the bearing with the base. A gentle nudge confirms smooth movement. The geometry remains true. Shield down her left hand, steady the metal as she readies the welder. The shop's silence waits to break her stances firm and ready. The upper structure is bound. She moves her torch to the top crossbeam, striking an arc of blue light. This joint must bear the entire weight. The liquid steel flows into the seam. Her steady hand guides the electrode, melting slag over the seam. The intense heat fuses the metal into one solid body. She welds the base corners, sending sparks flying to reinforce the joints against heavy vibration. The foundation is built to endure. A clear stream flows over smooth stones. Its gentle murmur contrasts with the harsh din of construction. This sanctuary remains untouched. An iron footbridge spans the stream. Colorful flower pots adorn its entrance. The lush forest frames this quiet crossing. White ducks drift on the calm stream. Ripples spread across the quiet water, adding life to the valley. The forge's heat returns on her low stool. She welds a complex node where steel rods converge. This critical joint must bear heavy loads. Her focus is absolute. She aligns the opposing strut. The torch ignites, showering the frame in golden sparks. Symmetry demands equal strength. Her work proceeds without hesitation. She sets the torch aside and chips away the black slag with her hammer. The clean, solid weld is revealed underneath. She squats to weld the final corner of the base frame, closing the structural loop. This scene locks the lower chassis into its permanent shape. The foundation is secure. She stands to check the frame, shaking it firmly. Tapping down weld beads ensures a flush finish. The clear ring confirms absolute rigidity. No flex remains. She turns the crank, watching gears and arms move with smooth precision. This is no mere sculpture, but a functioning machine. The motion is flawless. She carries a heavy frame from the workshop, placing it on the grassy bank by the stream. The metal gleams in the sun. Phase 1 is complete. She adjusts the frame, then returns to the workshop. The bare metal gleams in the sun, ready for its protective coat. She selects 2 cans of white paint from the M-shaped rack. This choice defines its visual identity, not just rust protection. The transformation begins. She carefully spreads protective sheets, then pries open the heavy paint can lid. A clean workspace is essential for a flawless finish. She pours the thick white paint into 2 paper cups, watching its flow. This split keeps the main supply clean and ready for use. She blends the paint with a wooden paddle, pouring it between cups to ensure a uniform texture. Her steady hands guarantee even color and optimal adhesion. Gloved, she dips a wide brush into white paint. She starts at the chassis corner, covering dark iron with a clean layer. The machine's character shifts. She carefully paints every crevice, guiding the brush into narrow gaps around bolts and welds. This attention to detail prevents future rust. Her patience shines through. She coats the connecting rods, turning industrial steel into a pristine, sculpted framework. The white canvas expands, unifying the structure. She shifts her stance to paint the lower rails. Sunlight bathes her focused form as she works. The repetitive motion feels meditative. Completion is near. She dabs paint into the weld pockets. Every pore is covered to block moisture. Her eyes catch every spot. She applies the final white strokes to the uppermost linkages. The heavy metal assembly transforms into a clean, modern sculpture. She squats to paint the lower beams white, sealing the base against damp earth. This layer adds durability. The paint gleams she smooths out drips on the column. This ensures a glass-like finish. The surface is perfect. A third tone arrives. She opens mint green paint, dipping a fine brush with steady precision. This playful color softens the industrial look. The final detail is ready. She sets down her brush to check the work. Adjusting her goggles, she admires the striking mix of white, orange, and green. Satisfied, she prepares for the next step. She secures the lid, stacking cans in the corner. Brushing off dust, she ends the coating phase. The workshop is ready for order. She unplugs the welder and coils the thick cables. This routine care keeps her tools in peak condition. The energy of the shop subsides. She carries her tools away, leaving a clean workspace in the finished machine. The storm has passed. Only the result remains. Beneath the green peaks, she approaches her 2-story wooden home. The day's labor ends, and a quiet evening awaits. The kitchen is her sanctuary by the window framing green valleys. She prepares dinner in the cabin's warm quiet. It balances creation and sustenance. Peace fills the room. Golden corn and bright red chilies dry on the concrete porch. Spring water brings purity. She washes her hands, then rinses the pale pork roll in the cold mountain flow. A peaceful ancient rhythm. The food is clean. With rhythmic grace, she slices the food on a thick wooden board into neat pieces. The steady thud echoes softly through the quiet yard. Her focus remains absolute. The preparation is complete. Rinsing her knife and cutting board, she gathers her basket of fresh ingredients and heads back. Inside to the kitchen. The scent of fresh cut vegetables fills the air. It is time to light the hearth. She sets the tray down and lights the stove. A blue flame flickers beneath the iron pan, ready to transform ingredients into comfort. The heat rises. She tests the hot oil with wooden chopsticks. Seeing it is ready, she lifts the plate of sliced meat to fry. Precision matters here. The oil is hot. Acid meets fat. She tilts the bowl, sliding juicy tomato slices onto the sizzling meat. The cold fruit hisses on contact, releasing rich aromas as the dish builds. She pours clear water into the pan, creating a cloud of fragrant steam. This liquid will simmer into a rich, savory gravy as the flavors blend. The transformation is complete. Stirring once more, she sees the tomatoes have broken down into a thick red sauce coating each piece of meat. She turns off the stove. The main course is ready. She transfers the steaming tomato pork mixture into a wide bowl, scattering fresh coriander on top. The green contrast elevates the rustic dish. It is served. The meal is complete. She ladles clear vegetable soup into a small bowl, balancing the rich stew with light broth. A traditional, satisfying finish to her lunch. She carries the heavy tray to her small table by the window. This modest corner filled with light is her preferred place to rest. The feast is ready. She sits in the quiet light, scooping steaming rice. She saves the meal made by her own hands. This simple food tastes better after hard work. The quiet cabin is her world. She pairs savory meat with rice, steam rising. This quiet routine sustains her self-sufficient life. She dips her chopsticks in sauce, then eats the meat with quiet care. She refills her bowl with steaming rice. The hard labor demands a hearty appetite, renewing her energy for the work ahead. Sunlight warms the wooden walls. Smoke rises from the roof. She eats alone inside. Clouds drift across the blue sky, casting shadows on her drying red crops. Nature's flow matches her steady pace.